Welcome back to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review episode. I'm Steve Gamache, and what we have this time is the Kaneshige TB Awagami or Blue number 2 Gyuto 210mm knife. So this line of knives has a 3-layer construction, and on the inside the harder core cutting steel is Awagami or Blue paper number 2 reactive high carbon steel. Heat treats around 62, 63-ish Rockwell on that core steel. The 3 layers on either side of that harder core steel, you've got a softer stainless steel cladding, and that looks like a wraparound over the top of the spine. And so that lowers your maintenance a little bit. You've got to worry about the core steel that's reactive at the edge, but not on the rest of the knife. The weight and dimensions will vary a little bit on these from knife to knife, but this one's 148 grams or 5.2 ounces with this Chef Knives to Go handle. The edge length, these are around 8 inches on the actual edge, or 201 millimeters from the tip all the way down to the back of the heel. This is called the chin. The overall length, about 340-ish millimeters, 13.5 inches. And then these tend to be a little thicker coming out of the spine. This one is about a little over about 3.3-ish millimeters, but shrinks down pretty quick to about 2.1. And then you'll notice we've got a pretty nice taper. It doesn't taper a whole lot till you get last 1.5 inches maybe, but then you've got a pretty generous grind on these, and so you've got a nice taper, and the tip gets pretty thin right at the end where it counts. They're also, the way they grind them so they're pretty thin at the very edge as well for performance. Let's see what else here. Blade height is about 47.4 millimeters at the heel, so pretty generous height for that length of a knife. And the handle is Chef Knives to Go basic octagonal ambidextrous walnut with a maple ferrule, and nice smooth fit and finish on the handle. Tight install at the tang where it goes into the handle end here. Circumference is about 76 millimeters or 3 inches where the two woods meet. Pretty standard size. And then the way they've mounted these, they've kind of made the bottom almost flush with the neck here into the choil or the back of the blade. So you've got a great spot there for your finger on a pinch grip. So this pinch grips very nicely. Let's take a closer look at this knife. See if we can get a good beauty shot here for it. How about that? So it's a little hard to tell, but there is a cladding line right there. You can see the core steel differentiation there. This knife has, it's fairly thick on the spine, so you can definitely see the grind here. These will each be a little bit different, but you can see the grind mark, or not marks, but the grind geometry as it goes from the flat down into the convex towards the edge. So you'll see that here with the light reflecting. So this has vertical machine marks for the finishing. You've got some nice touches. You've got really well done hand chiseled kanji here on the right side of the blade as you're holding it. And then the left side of the blade is plain. There's nice fit and finish on this. This particular one does have one small anomaly. It's got a little bump here on the spine. But that could be sanded out. So this is probably just I don't know if it's an errant hammer mark or something right there, but there's a little bump on the spine. But again, that could be sanded out fairly quickly. Other than that, this is nicely finished. It's got a polished rounded spine. It's got a little bit of relief on the choil. That could even be relieved some more if you wanted, but I think it's pretty comfortable out of the box, especially for a right-hander. Out of the box edge, this is a pretty doggone sharp out of the box edge. I'll say 6, maybe 7 out of 10. So it was pretty sharp right out of the box. And the blade has a fair amount of stiffness to it, so there's a lot of integrity here on the board. And let's see, balance point is going to be about right there for me. So you'll see that's a little behind a pinch grip, but it gives a nice neutral feel. So it's a light knife, got some height to it. Here is the profile. You'll see there's not a lot of flat here. You even got a little bit of back belly here, so this will rock great, even all the way to the back if you want. Whoops, I want to cut myself. All the way to the back. I can't really see that vertical there too well. Sometimes the knife moves off the cutting board on me, but there's your profile. It gets a little more aggressive towards the tip, so I can get pretty high here with the belly towards the tip. I can get pretty high on this, but great rocker. Not a real good chopper with this profile, but it should work pretty good for push-pull cuts, glide cuts, that kind of stuff, as well as, of course, not chopping, rocking. So it's a nicely finished blade. It's a good performing blade. It's pretty thin at the very tip and thin at the edge. Got some convexing to it, some thickness at the spine to help with food release and separation. So this is a neat product. So plus it's easy to sharpen. Aogami number 2. So it's excellent steel. So this is the Kaneshige TB Aogami or blue number 2 Gyuto 210mm knife.